He's a jiu-jitsu guy that chooses not to use his jiu-jitsu when they do go to the ground, and he has no other means of getting there other than wrapping his legs around somebody like a baby sloth to his mother. By far, this was the worst performance I have ever seen in my entire life. UFC 310 this past weekend, you might as well call it the retirement card because my god. First we're going to start out with Clay Guida. I love Guida, man. We all love Guida, legend, Hall of Famer. It's about time to hang it up, bro. Father Time gets to us all, and MMA is just a young man's sport. Love Guida, so it was tough to see him get dominated like that. Next up we got Chris Weidman. Again, Father Time gets to us all. You're still my boy.
And this is still my boy!
And I can only imagine the amount of struggle his tibula and fibula are going through just to keep his leg from completely blowing out again. But you just don't look the same anymore, and it's sad to see these legends, Hall of Famers, go out terribly bad like that. Next up, we got Anthony Lionheart Smith, a very reckless, seems like he kind of wanted to go in there and take some damage. Very reckless fight.
When I get mad, like I see red. Nigga.
He's only won one of his last 6 fights, and many of those defeats were by knockout. I just don't know how much longer you can put your family through this.
I'm not even attacking my family. Oh, you're attacking my family. Now what?
Especially when you got a good job as an analyst. And last but not least, and the worst by far, Kron Gracie, it's either time to hang it up or time to get back to the drawing board. He went out there and finished Mr. Bruce Leroy Alex Caceres in his first fight in the UFC, and it's just been all downhill from there. He unfortunately had the run-ins with one of my personal favorite fighters, Cub Swanson, and Cub put the absolute beating on Kron Gracie and just exposed how one-dimensional he really is. And plus, me personally, I don't like Kron Gracie after this fight was announced because Cub Swanson was turned away by a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms just because Kron is a Gracie.
Before you were getting ready to fight Kron Gracie, you know, those jiu-jitsu gyms wouldn't let you in. Certain people wouldn't let you train with them. They said, oh, you're fighting a Gracie, you got to kick it. Is this true? Mm-hmm. It's true. Mm-hmm. So you would go around to jiu-jitsu gyms, they knew you were going to fight him, and they wouldn't even let you train?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Kron definitely had it coming. After the absolute beating he takes a 4-year layoff and then comes back against Charles Jourdain. It has been 4 years. Let's see if he's improved at all. And by far, this was the worst performance I have ever seen in my entire life. Kron has shown zero evolution over the past 4 years. He constantly relies on the jiu-jitsu, constantly just tries to pull guard. He has zero striking, zero wrestling, and it really was one of the most pathetic performances I've ever seen in my entire life. Despite losing 2 fights in a row and looking god-awful in the process, he somehow is granted a spot on a pay-per-view against a ranked opponent. And as we saw this past Saturday, still zero evolution, zero striking, zero wrestling, just pulls guard and lays on his back, except for one submission attempt, but other than that, he was just laying on his back the whole time, zero offensive grappling. Thankfully, Bryce Mitchell saved us another 5 minutes from having to watch whatever the hell rounds 1 and 2 were. And then the third, Bryce Mitchell slams him on the back of his head, bouncing his head off the canvas. And then he attempts to show everybody how flat the earth really is by caving in Kron's face with a couple of elbows. I don't know why Kron Gracie is on a pay-per-view, let alone fighting a ranked opponent, man. This is like the CM Punk shit all over again. Most of the time, I try to give the UFC the benefit of the doubt in situations like this, or when they're under fire, or when there's controversy, but there is no defending them in this case. What the hell were they thinking? He's a jiu-jitsu guy that chooses not to use his jiu-jitsu when they do go to the ground, and he has no other means of getting there other than wrapping his legs around somebody like a baby sloth to his mother. It's almost like he doesn't even work on his striking or wrestling or anything. He just goes to the gym and only does jiu-jitsu, and then when they get in the cage, he just wings in. It's just like, well, I'm gonna just get down there somehow. A good example would be, look at Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is a jiu-jitsu guy, but look how far he has come. His striking is among the best in the lightweight division, and he's one of the best, if not the best submission artist in UFC history. He has made huge strides in his game, and Kron Gracie is completely doing the opposite. He's gone backwards. This is not what MMA is about. This is not what the UFC is about. This guy should have been sent back down to the minor leagues a long freaking time ago. Fighters have been cut in the past for way less than this. So why is he still around? I don't know. Well, I do know because his last name is Gracie, but still, with performances like that, he's gotta go.
Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
But that's all I got for y'all today. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.